As I promised, the topic of the philosophy behind the movies, like, for example, V for Vendetta, being a very top grossing movie too, when it came out and so on, and being the time I think if I'm not mistaken, around the times that Anonymous had started in society and spread across with the message of exposing different things and so on. Again, for me, the knowledge I have around that is more so since when I started talking about my philosophy being so much about self-awareness, participation, etc., responsibility, accountability, as a person for yourself, for those you love, as a member of society, those you allow and elect, whether you vote or not, you are electing them, especially when you're refusing to participate in the system in any manner, because while you might not like how the ballots are, if you're a citizen of a country and you don't like your voting system, it is your responsibility to come educated, whichever means. And I understand if to some people it becomes more so difficult, but this especially highlighted to places of privilege that have access to the knowledge and the tools, etc., and the people who do, even in the places that are not as privileged, spread through society. It is your responsibility to become aware, to become participant, to see the laws. If there's something wrong, to teach and spread that message through society so others become aware. Protesting in that without a foundation of how you actually better society, that is the mistake that a lot of people are making. And also, it leads me to think that a lot of the harmful protests that we've been seeing, the violence and so on, is more so a plan by those same people that want to maintain that narrative that people are stupid and they need to be ruled and told how to live their lives and so on, and they don't know what's better. So best if they don't know what's going on, because they're going to have a misconception, etc., because they are the people doing toxic things. So when you keep that in mind and bring that, they're obviously going to send very violent, destructive people to create that narrative around the people who might want to protest about something and bring attention. Because when you see a group of people gather over something, you're going to ask a question: what is happening here? If you see violence and so on, you're going to think, look at all these terrorists. Until you understand what and how things work, and how society is not so black and white, not so left or right, and there's no such thing as binary, but more so it's a very pool of multiple different things, and people who are not even aware sometimes of what they might be participating simply by associating themselves or participating or promoting or helping financially or by voting, etc., a particular party, label, group, etc. Like when you're a Christian, you're supporting something. What kind of Christian? You're supporting something even more. Where you go exactly, etc. Where you go shopping and etc. And sometimes we don't have a choice. And this is part of the technology thing that I have yet to upload, but I mentioned in some of my posts on my Adonai Orion Twitter, where it talks about technology, and you don't have a choice. Yes, you're given the I agree or disagree, but if you disagree, how do you go online? And right now, life is mandatory online. It's like how shopping, schooling, my son, for example, and so many kids across the planet being forced to be online because it's virtual school. And bringing it back to the illusion of choice when there is none really, because you don't have many options. However, I understand how people complain about voting systems and so on, but what do you do to get involved in your society, to become a candidate, perhaps, if you really are that person? And that's why celebrities and people like that, they see opportunities. If the better people don't rise up and are supported too, because it's not, for example, I see a lot of people watch and look at my things, but no one supports me. Do you think that helps me? Do you think you're doing me a favor? And by the way, if you think that no one knows you, watch and look at my profiles and how you interact with them and what you do afterwards, you're dead wrong. Technocracy. I think you're missing the point of what technocracy is. So all the people watching and not supporting me, no, I'm not asking anyone to do that. I'm not playing. That's not the whole ninja reference or any of that. I think a lot of people misinterpret a lot of the things I say. And you not supporting me, you're doing me harm, and you're part of the people that have contributed to all the things that have happened to me, because you contribute to me being kept silent. So you looking at my things, finding value in them, reaping it for yourself, and thinking you're helping me, it's wrong. You have caused me harm. Whether that was your intention or not, you have. And that means absolutely everyone behind it, top to bottom. The whole of you have contributed to the things that have happened. When we're not transparent, honest, and open about things and truths, we allow all kinds of conspiracies to happen. And this is what is happening in society. So when you think about all the issues in society in a movie like V for Vendetta, it was a very high grossing movie done by a corporation. And I'm not hating on anyone. Perhaps that was not the idea and the concept of the person who did the movie. But this is how it harms society. It creates also this narrative of what, being aware and sending a message to society against the tyranny and the tightness of the circle, etc., that it is. Because it's wrong. It promotes violence, division. It promotes that only through violence are we're going to be hurt. When it is knowledge. You see all the things I've been doing the last week, I did them in purpose, not because I see me as going to be respected, heard, or acknowledged. I know I'm being ripped off already. I know it so. I know other people are already doing their thing, getting credit for everything I expose, including the Bitcoin thing. Okay? But because I wanted to prove a point, that I did all the things that are so difficult right now in society and mention different things that have been powerful, besides other with proven evidence. And I didn't have to spy on anyone, hack anyone, commit any crime in any manner. I had no informants, no connection to secret societies. I am not a rich woman. I'm not even considered average in my country. I'm considered part of low income in my country. By expenses and so on. I'm a single mother with disabilities, have no child support, none of that, or physical help. Little boy who's had his challenges and so on, who I've also helped overcome things that are extremely difficult with physical, mental, and so on. When you keep all of that in mind, and all the things, my survival of the health, not just recently, but in my past, as a childhood, rape, abuse, pedophilia, all kinds of things, psychological, etc., and all the things I've been through since I tried to start, having a positive message in society. When you keep all of that in mind and you see everything I am doing here, more so the last few things I've been doing is to prove a point. A, my innocence on everything I've been falsely, indirectly being wrapped around. The truth of who I am. How I have knowledge of all these different things that can actually help society and have provided, not just recently, but through the years. In actions and words, advice, etc. With match actions, work, and so on. Volunteer, blast in the paperwork that I've done, with not recognition too often too, taken from things that I've designed, etc. And this over and over. I'm not okay with that, and I am not supporting. I'm never going to be quiet or okay with that. And even when I remove myself from being around because I don't see the support, I am not okay with being plagiarized or taking over, and I'm always going to fight until I get my full justice. But I am removing myself from giving myself away freely because it's wrong. And it comes back to all of these things of what is the problem with society. Lack of truth, lack of honesty, lack of recognition to people who deserve to be in the places they need to be, because that's how you better society. And that's how you stop society from going into the place where it's going, regardless of your faith views or not. I am a very transparent person, and on top of that, I bring all faiths, worldviews, and lack of, like for people who don't want to associate with anything, you have this life, this physical thing, and that, and merge it into the middle. I think that is a very valuable message in society that no one has managed to, and yet I try my best, and I think I've managed, and I've proven, and I have tracked evidence of that, and yet I'm removed from that. And I'm giving myself an example because it's happening in everything, everywhere, and I see it. And these are the problems that we're facing. So a message like V for Vendetta of destruction, that, remember, is coming from a corporate place whose interest is to divide and conquer. You think government is corporate, and while there might be the links of all of this, nothing is left, right, binary. There are multiple things. You have to understand there are people who are trying to do their best, but they don't know everything, because people who know, like myself, are removed from being seen and given the place instead to the people who are committing the crimes and connected and maintain this toxic cycle. So you want to know what is the message from the movie from that you can keep? That there is something wrong in society, and until we do something, nothing's going to change. The violence shouldn't really be your approach. Knowledge, understanding, and application of yourself, what you can do and how you can help others. Support those who are part of the solution.